It's easy to want to take the first job offer that comes your way when you're restarting your career, but it might not always be the best decision. After my career break, I received a job offer for $9 an hour. Yep, $9 an hour. For context, I was 38 years old with nearly 2 decades of work experience behind me. And the last time I had made $9 an hour was when I was 19. But I thought I needed to take the job just to get my foot back in the door. Ultimately, I didn't take it, but it did teach me a valuable lesson. And that is that you need to clearly define your wants and needs before you begin your job search. Doing so will provide you with a personalized roadmap that will make your job search less frustrating and more focused. But rather than simply write down a random list of things you want out of a job, I'm going to show you how to drill down into the specific components that make up a job so you can clearly define your personal non-negotiables and nice-to-haves. And by the end of this video, you will have a comprehensive list that will get you started on your job search. First up is control. Control has to do with the way that the job is done. Think about where you're going to be working from, when you're going to be working, how you're going to be working. For example, if you are looking at a position, do you want that position to be completely remote, hybrid, or do you prefer to go into the office? Also, if you're going into the office, how far are you willing to commute? And really take a look at that. Sometimes we think that totally sounds doable, but type in what that route would be during rush hour so you truly know how much time that's going to take. Also, are you looking for a full-time position, a part-time position, a position that's going to require you to perhaps work overtime or to be on call? Another component to think about is whether or not there is going to be travel. Is it optional if you are traveling? How often do you travel? And how long are you generally gone? So that's first is control. Now, second is compensation. And so many people think of compensation solely as the base salary, but it is so much more. Compensation refers not just to the base salary, but to the overall total compensation package. And this is comprised of course, the salary, bonus potential, benefits, retirements, stock options. There is so much to consider when looking at the overall total compensation. Are you maybe willing to take a little bit of a lower base salary if your bonus potential is way higher? Or are you willing to take a little bit lower base salary if your medical and dental and health benefits are amazing? Saving money in premiums and co-pays and deductibles might offset that difference. Also, think about the long term as well, your retirement. If you're working for a company that offers a pension or matching 401k, that's something to consider, especially if you are getting more towards the retirement age. Third up is culture. Now, culture is the shared beliefs, values, standards, and practices of a company, and it can truly make or break a position. On paper, the job might look like a dream job, but that dream can be crushed if the company culture and even the team culture don't align with what you're looking for. Things to think about with the company culture: is it a laid back type of environment, or is it a more buttoned up formal type of atmosphere? Also, are you able to have leeway with the way that you do your job, or is the culture more of a micromanaging type of feel? Also, is the culture one where you feel supported as a woman and as a mother? Or is it a culture that is, I don't care about that, all I care about is the bottom line? And even if it seems as though the company culture is wonderful, you have to go one layer deeper with the team or department culture. You can have the company saying one thing, but the team doing a completely other. For example, at Netflix, when they introduced their unlimited PTO, at a company level, it was praised, but at a departmental level, there were still managers who did not want their employees to truly utilize their unlimited PTO. So within those departments, there was a culture that was against the company culture. Thankfully, the CEO did notice that certain departments weren't using their PTO, and there were changes made, but that's the impact that specific managers and departments can have. If they're opposed to the overall company culture, it still is not going to be a fit. So make sure it is a fit on both the company and the departmental level. And the fourth component is role. Role is what you are going to be doing day in and day out. Are the responsibilities of the position even what you want to be doing? And if they are they ones that you already have experience in and you feel comfortable with, or are there ones that are going to stretch you? Also, think about the purpose of your role. I work for a nonprofit and I've worked for profits. And there was definitely more of a warm, fuzzy feeling with the nonprofit roles. I could see daily the impact that I was having in people's lives, and that made my role more fulfilling. On the flip side, I've worked for companies where the bottom line is just make more money. And nothing I did really had a positive impact either on the community or on a broader scale. And I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. It is for you to choose. Some people do want the warm and fuzzies, and some people are like, just show me the money. So figure out which one is for you. And next, think about growth potential. Within that role, do you have the opportunity to grow both professionally and personally? Are there workshops or professional education that you can take part in? Do you have the opportunity to possibly move up or move laterally within the department and or the company? Some people love the ability to keep moving on up, while others think, hey, you know what? I'm here to do a job. I grow outside of work and there's no need to do so at work. So just figure out what is important to you. And with that, I challenge you to create your own personalized list of non-negotiables and nice to haves in each of the four focus areas. Now, by non-negotiables, I mean you will not even consider the job if those non-negotiables are not met. For example, if you're like, hey, I need to be home, and then this position says it is 5 days a week in the office, that one is just taken off the board and you're not even going to waste your time. The nice to haves are, you know what, they're not a deal breaker, but if I were between two positions, I'd definitely lean towards the company that offered the nice to haves. Here is what a finished list looks like. When you create your own personalized list, you'll save yourself time and headache in your job search process. There are a lot of variables outside of your control when restarting your career, but there are a lot more in your control than you may think. Taking control over those areas will give you a leg up over all of the other candidates. And remember, what you wanted before your career break and what you want after your career break may look different, and that's completely normal. Career breaks change you. You are not the same person you were a year ago to 5 years ago. And that's why it's so important for you to identify your current wants and needs and not put the pressure on yourself to just pick up where you left off. To wrap up, the four focus areas are control, compensation, culture, and role. Remember, I challenge you to create your own list of non-negotiables and nice to haves so you can have a clear roadmap that will get you to successfully have a career that you enjoy. And if you're interested in weekly insights on how you can navigate your return back to the paid workforce, make sure to subscribe.